You serious?
Right, there's plenty of ways to kill time out there. Right now, you are killing time with myself, Marcus Bronzy, joined by...
Yeah, it's me. Hi, everybody. Oh, I got to say my name, innit? It's Ortis Dealey. Some people know me from Gadget Show. Some people know me from my history at CBBC. Some even remember my trouble days. What?
The trouble days.
Yeah, we've got some of your listeners going, oh, what's that? Is he talking about stuff from the 90s? Yes, I am.
Was that pre Afro Otis? Because there was Afro Otis as well. There was Afro time.
Why would you do that?
I think it was a good look.
Afro Otis was in existence for about 3 years, and it went as far as hair braided Otis.
Otis.
Busting some of them cornrows, man, for a little while.
What was your favourite Otis? Apart from the Otis that is here right now, obviously.
Do you know what? I got into a similar conversation with someone recently, and it's hair bear Otis.
Hair bear Otis.
Yeah, when I had hair, I felt powerful.
Like a lion.
Yeah, I did. I felt virile. I felt strong. Now I feel intelligent, and confident and whatnot, but
wise.
Yeah, how man's trying to tell me I'm old. Watch yourself, Marcus.
Wisdom's a great thing.
Yeah, it is. And you know, I use it well, and I believe I wear it well. But you asked me for my favourite Otis, and it was Hair Bear Otis, man.
Hair Bear Otis.
A thick mane.
Should we just use a picture of Hair Bear Otis for the thumbnail for this episode?
Yeah, do that.
Okay, we'll do that then. In fact, we will take a picture, obviously, but I think everything we put out there on social media should just have Hair Bear Otis. Awesome stuff. Glad you're back on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been waiting for my re-invite, but like you, it's been a busy time. The last 6 to 9 months have been like really busy with work, which is great. A couple of different experiences, which, you know, I hope we can get into over the next while. But yeah, it's been a good time.
Great stuff, you know, and we are going to chop it up today, just in case you want to listen back to the first episode where Otis joined us, episode 176, wow. I believe. So yeah, you can go scroll back through the podcast app or your podcatcher and check that out, listen to it, and then listen to this again afterwards, right away. And then you won't feel any time difference. You'll be like, hey, he was there a few minutes ago.
Marcus got them numbers, man. So what number is this?
This is episode
287.
Thank you, Billy.
287.
287.
Over 100 episodes ago was the last time I was on.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
A lot has happened.
I can imagine. That's 100.
There's just so much ways of killing time, and we're just trying to kill them all. I don't think if we covered every single way to kill time between then and now, we'd be in like the thousands.
Yeah. No doubt.
It's not so much what we can cover; it's what we have to not cover.
Can I just say though, I've enjoyed watching the growth of How to Kill an Hour.
Thank you very much.
I have, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's just nice watching people with a vision make it happen.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
You're definitely doing that, and I think that's Hair Bear Otis. I think that's powerful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, when you're out there setting the bar with the Gadget Show, out there kicking ass.
Well, you know, I'm just doing me.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we like to kick off the show talking about how each other have killed time recently, right? I'll get mine out of the way because I can't wait to hear about yours. I just want to get mine out of the way. Let's get mine out of the way.
Go ahead.
I went axe throwing the other day at a place called Whistle Punks. Yes. We popped it. There's an IGTV story up there actually if you want to go and check that, because we're now on Instagram TV at How to Kill an Hour, obviously.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
A little ripple right there.
It's real simple. It's axe throwing, right? So you go there are axes, there are big wooden targets, and you have about an hour session where somebody shows you how to throw an axe. Now, throwing an axe isn't as easy as the action stars make it seem.
Okay, so you're going to tell me there's an art to it.
It's all about distance. Because you have to be standing the right distance for your height so that the axe gets enough rotations. Okay. So sometimes, like you may require, it may be required that you take a step back or a step forward to make sure you connect. And it's about technique. It's not about power.
You don't just dash it from the heart.
As much as I like to say yes, Braveheart style, you do not need for it. Like, if people were throwing the axes with so much power and like the axe was like bouncing everywhere, but if you get the technique right, the axe goes deep into the wood and you get that thud that's like, and it's very, very satisfying. It's very hard. The guys there are awesome. They not only show you how to throw an axe one-handed, they show you how to do it two-handed. And if you really are safe and sensible, they show you some trick shots. Like, I believe I am a connoisseur of the underhand axe throw.
What?
Yes.
The underhand axe throw? That's when you fling it in someone's back, innit, while they're not looking. That was underhanded.
That was underhand,
God,
yeah. I'm a professional backstabber now.
So it's because whenever you see someone fling an axe in a movie or a TV show, it's like, no one ever just goes, let me pick up this axe and dash it. It's like, isn't it? It's a real emotional action, but that's not it in real life.
Once you get the technique right, you can add some heart to it. But I think if it was all heart and no technique, you'd just be knocking someone out with the back of an axe, which would be effective. Still effective.
Yeah, but you want to split their cranium, innit?
I want the axe to go through them. So we did that, man. You could check out the links to that in the show description. Wicked. And How to Kill an Hour's Instagram and IGTV, right, Billy?
Yes.
Wicked. Also, I won't bang on about this too much. This is the first episode post E3. We dropped quite a few episodes about E3.
Yeah.
And we had a little chat about it before we press record today. And it was something I didn't discuss because we're with you before we press record because I wanted to talk to you about it now. And that was the Spider-Man game. Now, Ortis is a big fan of comics, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Spider-Man? You fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah. Big fan.
The Spider-Man game, bro.
Okay.
If you don't own a PS4, this is the kind of game that would make you buy a PS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's me.
Billy put his hand up. I was like, what? I don't know how much you've seen of it.
Nah, not much. Just a trailer.
So so what did you see? What did you see in the trailer? Was it
just Spidey flinging himself here, there, and everywhere?
Spidey antics, right?
Yeah.
So apologies if you've heard all of the E3 specials, but I've got to say it again. We were all saying if the trailer, if that transferred over to the gameplay, if what we saw in the trailer, you could actually play, we'd be impressed with. Like if you could web sling like Spider-Man, if the combat was as good as like Arkham series that, if you could roll around in the open world like a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, if the character was there, it would be a great game. It delivers on all of those. So the hands-on we got was open world hands-on play. So everyone's experience was different. Like you could have just hung around solving real small crimes. You could have tried to infiltrate some mob bosses, or you could have jumped on top of a car that was being stolen and web slung the shit out of them. It was so good.
Oh wow,
so good.
Do you have a choice which Spider-Man you can play?
As far as I'm aware, no. Just one Spider-Man.
Okay.
I don't see why there wouldn't be different skins in the future.
Yeah.
It's the web sling is amazing, man. It's like if they got it wrong, it'd be very cumbersome. Like you'd swing into a building and not be able to do anything, but it's so fluid. He can run up the side of buildings, sling into them, jump off. It's amazing.
Okay.
So good.
Okay, keep my eyes and my wallet open for that then.
There you go. What are you doing comic book wise at the moment? What are you reading?
Do you know what? I'm at a point now where I've been so mad busy. I have a pile maybe as tall as this table. So what are we talking? 2 foot?
Yeah.
I got a pile of comics 2 foot deep waiting to be read. I just haven't been able to get the time to do that. So I'm considering switching to digital.
Okay.
And being able to take it round on my tablet or whatever. And like that's a big deal for me because I've now been collecting 30 years. And I've always had that tactile feel, you know, whenever you get someone talking about old school, where from vinyl to reading books or whatever, a lot of it is about turning the pages. And my comic book related emotions are tied into that action. But in terms of practicality, running out of space at home, for example, my little girl is growing, I'm running out of space, and just not having the time to pick up a comic book and read through it. I'm thinking about going digital. But in terms of where I'm at, I've just recently read Amazing Spider-Man 800,
Right.
which was a commemorative issue. It was a giant issue, and the main story is Spider-Man versus Red Goblin. Red Goblin is what you get when you cross probably his greatest enemy of all time, Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, with the Carnage symbiote or symbiote. The Carnage symbiote is, if you don't know, related to Venom. Carnage is actually the spawn of Venom, and is this twisted, maniacal, serial killing nastiness. Green Goblin and Carnage bond together, creating, what should be the ultimate villain, who knows Spidey's identity, everybody in his family who he loves, and so he goes after him there, and it's about Spider-Man trying to, so it's a worthy 800.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Is it a good read?
Yeah, it was a good read.
Because interesting, because when you go over to digital, you won't have that. I feel like you have a space in your house that you sit down in. There's a chair that you get in, a drink that you make.
I wish my office is like the smallest room in the house, and I literally have I've got about 9 long boxes which hold 500 comics each, and then I've got about 8 short boxes which are 250 each, and they are at the side of the desk, halfway up the wall, behind me. Almost the full height of the wall as well. So there are a lot there, and then I've got my cupboards and all my paperwork and my tech as well. There's a lot in there, and I know time is ticking, because if we decide to expand our family, for example, that room is gone. Desk, desktop, everything is, all my possessions are gonna have to find somewhere for them. So yeah, I don't have like reader's corner.
Or the other alternative would be to sell them.
Ow! You wound me. It's such an alien concept. Do you know what? I've recently come around to the idea of maybe downsizing a little bit. Picking comic book runs or titles that maybe I didn't enjoy as much as I thought I did back then, and maybe selling those. But selling them is a full-time job as well, to go through them. Yeah, to go through them all, make the decision, and then find buyers. I did recently cull the collection by maybe about 200 or 300, and I couldn't get rid of them. There's obviously a reason I couldn't get rid of them. I didn't want them, so nobody else wanted them. So I ended up, I couldn't sell them, shall I say. I ended up gifting them to a local comic book shop, which was, cool. Fine with me. I'd already made my peace with those particular storylines. Maybe if we have this conversation in another 100 shows time, maybe I can think about selling some. But there are some great titles in there, great one-offs, amazing stories in there as well that I couldn't part with forever.
All right, I'll help you with this process. Everyone's out of the house. You're the only guy in the house, right? Yeah. So the family's safe, right? There's a fire.
Comic books first, before tech, bro.
But there's the comic books are on fire, right? That room is on fire. The office room's on fire, right? You have 10 seconds to get out of there. In your mind, what are you going to grab first? It's on fire. The fire's spreading quickly.
That's hard.
You've got 10 seconds. You're looking around you, and you've got this magical power where whichever one you want to, you know exactly where everything is, and you just grab it.
Okay, so it's
seeing breaking point right now.
it might have to be Planet Hulk through World War Hulk.
Right, and why is that?
It's one of the most awesome storylines ever told. Bruce Banner is banished by a secret cabal of Earth's heroes, which include Namor, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, they and Doctor Strange. They decide among themselves that Hulk is too much of a risk to the planet, so they drug him, put him to sleep, send him away in a rocket ship to a planet where he can be alone, because that's all the Hulk ever wanted. Something goes wrong with the navigational system and he ends up on this planet, which is nothing but like war, different alien races warring against each other. He rises up from basically being captured and enslaved and becomes the leader. He unites all the different factions and becomes the leader of this planet and brings peace to the planet. His wife, he takes a wife, falls in love, gets married, and is about to become a dad when his wife and child are murdered. This brings on like the ultimate rage for him, because he believes it was Earth's heroes who are responsible for the death of his mate. Okay. So he gathers together a crew, including you've seen Thor Ragnarok, haven't you?
Yes.
Including Korg.
Okay.
Who doesn't, in my mind, doesn't sound anything as hilarious as he did in the movie. And Meek and some other, and he basically declares and wages war on planet Earth. It's wicked. It's a wicked storyline, and for me, one of the best storylines in the last 10-15 years. But there are like The Killing Joke, A Death in the Family, which are two Batman titles, Spider-Man, The Other, wicked storyline. Like there are so many. Right, there aren't so many. There's a large handful. There's another Batman storyline. I think it's either called Nightfall or Venom, basically, where he discovers the Venom serum, which is what ultimately leads to Bane getting his power. Right. Bruce becomes addicted to this Venom and what it does for him as a superhero.
Okay.
But ultimately he can see himself getting more and more addicted and blah blah blah, and so he locks himself away, goes cold turkey, and he goes cold turkey for like 2 months or whatever, and there's this stunning image of him finally coming out of his hellhole, like all bearded off and whatnot, and somewhat emaciated but still ripped and whatever. And then the shading is beautiful and the artwork is just amazing. You know what I mean? Nah, I ain't rescuing one of them, man. I'm turning my back, going Wakanda forever, and I'm just falling into the flames with
a smile on your face.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, family.
The coroner will be like, he seems to have died of happiness. I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, that would be it.
Before we go on to how you've been killing time though, so I feel like you might disagree. I feel like the film world, the cinematic universes for heroes are catching up slowly. I feel like we're starting to get some visuals that kind of represent the actual vision that you do get in comics. You mentioned Venom. How are you feeling about the film?
I am tentatively excited. The trailer I've seen so far, which incidentally is the only trailer I'm going to watch. I've got a story about trailers. The trailer I've seen so far looks provocative. So listen, even if the trailer looked whack, I would still go and see it, because I need to make my own mind up about these things. But yeah, I'm interested. Now, the reason why I'm limiting myself to that one trailer is because I watched it before I went to see Infinity War.
All right.
Black Panther and Infinity War. Both movies I left feeling a bit empty.
Why?
Right. A number of reasons. I think I know the source material too well or very well. I get so hyped watching the trailers. And then when the clips that they use for the trailers are then seen in the movie, it doesn't give me that same excitement. So I think I'm expending a lot of my excitement watching the trailers. Trailers now, you get 2, 3, sometimes 4 trailers before the movie release. You get TV teasers, you get pre-trailer teasers. Do you know what I mean? You string all that time together, it's a big chunk of the movie.
Yeah.
Or a decent chunk of the movie. So I think trailers might be spoiling my enjoyment. I went with a friend who does this. He doesn't watch the trailers, and all through the film he's like, oh my god, he's like, yes at all these things that I've seen already.
Yeah, I don't watch trailers anymore for that same reason.
It's a purer enjoyment. So anything comic book related now, I'm not watching the trailers. I've seen a TV teaser for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay,
I'm good.
That's it.
Ready to see the movie when it comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I won't watch any trailers for Aquaman. And going forward,
it's funny because trailers used to be a real tease. Like they used to show you a little bit, and you might get a split second of action right at the end of a trailer to pull you in. But now, just the pressure from studios to get that big first week in, that big first month in, means that they're like, oh, let's just put in that big scene because that looks awesome, and then, oh, we've got to do another trailer, like you said. Oh, let's do an extended trailer. Let's put in a couple of big scenes. And you're right, like it can spoil that experience for you.
Trailers used to be this is our movie. This is our movie. Come watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's got a little bit of this, might have a little bit of that.
Yeah. Now
it's like, this is the biggest movie you will ever see, and you want to see it right now. That's what they are, and they do work. They get people into the seats, but I don't know if the enjoyment is as pure, having seen so much, or I say so much, so many key moments.
It's kind of like having a little sip of pure squash and then having a diluted version afterwards.
Yeah.
You know it's a good drink, but then you're like, it's not as orangey, that.
Exactly.
You put it on the table.
So
that's
trailers for all sorts of other movies, fine.
Yeah.
But them ones, nah. And also, I left empty because I was disappointed on some levels. Won't talk about it because of spoilers, etc. But I was disappointed on some levels, and yet I felt really in the minority, like a minority of one, because everybody else was just still so hype. Like with Infinity War, I'm like, how can you be happy with that ending, knowing about sequels?
Yeah. It's a hard one. I mean, if you got that kind of pressure where you want to turn over hundreds of millions and you're making it, I think I'd make a snap decision. I'd be like, put it all in the trailer. I don't care. Let's get them seats full. But for the extended experience, it does spoil it. I could imagine watching a season of Netflix, and before you watched every episode, you saw that much of the episode before you watched it. Like you'd be like, oh, I might as well not watch the next episode. I've seen it. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Westworld are doing something quite interesting. I don't know if you're watching it at the moment.
I can't get into it. I tried. It's long.
I think it's a very acquired taste. It's a very interesting niche of sci-fi.
Here's my thing with Westworld. You will never get any answers. And that for me, and this, I can say that having watched 3.5 episodes, and I know season 2 done. I haven't read any reviews. I haven't spoken to anybody about it, but the feeling I got is the same as with Lost. You will never get any answers. There will be forums, there will be chat rooms, there will be discussion rooms, there will be parties where people talk to death about what's going on, who's really responsible, what is responsible, what planet are they on, are they really on the same planet as us, or is it a parallel dimension, who's really in control, is it the government, or is it some, you will never get all the answers. My advice to you is, give up Westworld now, bro. You're just gonna be frustrated, and they just giving you little bits piecemeal to make you feel satisfied, but you ain't satisfied. Talk to your inner self, have a conversation. Are you really satisfied?
I had to Google Lost and Westworld the other day just to see if it was the same production teams. And luck at the moment, I'm up to date today. At the moment, they're giving me enough answers but they're balancing it out with more questions.
Yeah.
And if this carries on to the end of the second season and there aren't enough questions answered, I'm going to give up.
You have to.
But
you owe it to yourself.
At the moment, it doesn't feel lost yet, but Lost didn't feel lost in the second season.
Man,
but then you realise they were lost when it got to the end, and that ending was lost, pretty much. Everybody was lost. But the reason I brought up Westworld was because you know when you kind of get the recaps at the starts of episodes to bring you up to date. So, you know, you've watched half a season, but your missus or your mum or your brother, your dad are with you, and you want to kind of bring them up to date real quick. See, that's what happened.
Yeah.
What they're doing with Westworld is they're pulling bits of episodes that are further on in the series, and they're pulling bits from the episode you're about to watch, but they're putting them out of context to confuse you, so you get into the mind of one of the characters, which I won't spoil for you in case you haven't watched it, who is having trouble remembering when things happened because his brain, for a better set of words, isn't working right. So they're doing that, and I think
doing the same to you as a viewer.
and that was interesting.
That's
for me.
That's a unique angle. I like that.
And do you know, I'd probably be comfortable with trailers that had content that wasn't in the film. Deadpool's good at doing that. Actually, they make a whole heap of content which has nothing to do with the film. Well, it's something to do with the film, but it's not really to do with the film. It might make a Valentine's trailer, a Christmas trailer, Halloween trailer. I like that, man.
It's a great way to drum up interest in a movie.
Yeah, and you don't spoil the film. Before we get on to what's going on in your world, Billy you got an update on what's happening with iOS 12, by the way, because we need to get that out there, don't we? Has much happened in the iOS 12 world?
There's not much, because there was rumours they was gonna like just change it all, like change the way it looked like, yada yada yada. But because it was so slow, iOS 11 so much of like a shit show, they've added just a new maintenance to it and a bunch of other bits to it that help it run smoother.
Okay, what is this, like faster, smoother animations? You got the old memoji, like you got Animoji, but it's like yourself. So like, be like what Samsung did, but
maybe a little bit slicker.
Any news on the screen time thing, the thing to stop you playing on your phone as much as you should? So that's a big thing that's kind of...
It's kind of like a guilt trip kind of thing, like you're on your phone X amount of time, using this app for X amount of time.
Are we actually going to see it in this new iOS?
Yeah, there's also a notification that says you have like 4 minutes left on Instagram for the day or something.
Okay, but there'll be notifications that you can, of course, silence.
Yeah.
So it's like... you're paying it lip service, I guess, to a degree, but it's like ultimately you control it.
Well, they've actually grouped notifications now, so you can delete all your notifications at the same time.
Exactly. No one's gonna stop doing something because a notification came up and said, "You're almost at your quota today, so you might want to think about putting that down." Yeah,
you're like, I own you, phone. You do not own me. Yeah, shut up. Group FaceTime, I heard about. Is that something? Is that going to be there? We're going to see group FaceTime.
It's up to 20 people. No, 32. I think it's one of the two. So up to like an insane amount of people who's ever going to use that.
Okay. What are they going to do about the operating? What part is it? System taking up so much storage space.
I don't know about that. I do agree though. The system, you go and you're just like, why am I losing? You look at that big chunk of system.
It's a bit unfair when they promote your phone.
7.68 gig.
It's a bit unfair when they promote a phone with a 256 memory and you don't get that.
After you use it for a while, though, 6 months later, that system's like that much. It's like, what's happened here?
It's all the fixes that they put in it. Yeah, I reckon we should have there should be a little separate bit of memory for that sort of stuff, designed just to hold system stuff and make it optimized as well. That means the phone would run faster if you didn't have your phones bouncing around in the same memory space. Interesting. So iOS, not too much then, Billy, but just far bigger, better, faster, smoother, bigger, more memory on your phone.
Hopefully.
Right, so that's kind of how we've been killing time. But you, Ortis, so much to tell us, man. Where do you want to start? Can we talk about the Gadget Show? Because we were speaking 100 episodes ago about the new season. And now you can catch the season online, catch up with it, right? Yeah,
you can catch the season, I believe, on my5.tv. Gadget Show now, or the production company behind Gadget Show, North One, is now in control of the Gadget Show website as well. So there's more for you to see, clips from all the episodes. Independent, related to the Gadget Show, but short form reviews, all that kind of thing. Everything connected with the show you can now find at thegadgetshow.co.uk as well. The show took the show took a revamp 2 years ago now, last year. beginning of last year. Jason Bradbury decided he wanted to move on, try different things. He's currently, I think he's in Italy at the moment with his family. Cool. So he took his kids out of school, 3 kids, and his wife, and they've basically just been gallivanting across the globe.
He did it, Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah.
He did it, Eat, Pray, Love.
I'm saying, I don't even know what that is.
Packed up bags, left town, just said, hey, you know what? Let's just have a change.
This is what they done. They got a camper van / RV, and they drove across Europe, then flew to America, did a couple months there, then flew down to Australia, then we go to New Zealand, up through Asia, Japan, and them.
Jeez.
Yeah. And this is their 12th month away.
Okay, and have you spoken to him?
Yeah. I've spoken to him. Yeah, it's all good. How could it be anything but? He's enjoying that. He decided to leave. The show thought, let's do a couple tweaks. So we got Georgie Barrett, who'd already been on the tech scene for a few years, doing shows as the guest tech brain, if you will, and Craig Charles. So there are 4 of us still, and it's a slightly different format, but the heart of Gadget Show, I believe, remains. And I think every now and again you got to spruce things up a little bit, haven't you?
But I feel like you've really focused on, and I'll let you describe how, making sure that your content is up to date, because the tech world is moving faster than ever. Yeah,
once upon a time we'd record the show and wait for transmission date, which could be anything from 2 to 3 months after we'd recorded everything. By, of course, which time all the stuff we've recorded is irrelevant, because, as you said, the tech world moves on very quickly. It takes leaps and bounds in a matter of weeks. Now what we do is we shoot our stories and we sit on those maybe for a couple of weeks, and then the studio element of the show is shot just a couple of days before we transmit.
So, okay, that's how you do it then. Right, cool.
So we record a show, we record the studio part of the show once a week.
Okay.
Rather than film everything over the course of a few months and then trickle feed it out over a number of weeks.
That explains why your arm is in a sling for some episodes in certain sections and not for others.
Yeah.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So you've done a lot though. I mean, you are, as well as trying out gadgets and tech, and by the way, I really do like the themes this year. Like, I really feel like you really got stuck into Christmas. I feel like you really got stuck into kind of on the ball topics, things that are happening then and there. So it really is working.
Thank you.
But you have also taken it to the extreme as well, right? No, I mean, I'd like you to take this away. I mean,
what are we talking about?
I mean, we've always spoken about you being the presenter that gets handed some tasks that I'd say they're the most athletic ones. I feel.
The first one that springs to mind. Do you know what? I wasn't even, so last summer, end of last summer, I had shoulder surgery. So my arm was in a sling, as you described. And they were like, okay, we've got a very small window to talk to these guys who make submersibles, so like mini submarines which hold like 2 or 3 people. We need you to go out there. And I'm like, okay, so when you're balancing on unfamiliar terrain, you need both arms. You need to hold them out.
You do.
Either side of you like an aeroplane.
You do.
Yeah. But can you do it? And I'm like, well, I'd really rather not. Great, your flight's tomorrow. The experience was fantastic, and I'm glad I did it. I mean, this is the closest I'll get to scuba diving without doing a paddy. So in this submersible, going down in Malta, actually deep under the sea / ocean, and looking around. That was amazing. Other experiences, I'm trying to remember whether they've risked my life at all. Oh, there was a zip wire in Vegas. That's all right.
Oh, I thought that was pretty scary.
Yeah, no, zip wire. Work on the Gadget Show for a few years. You put it into perspective. We took a trip back to Santapod, which is a very famous drag strip in the UK. And I'd previously set a world record there, which was the fastest speed on a push bike. We strapped some electric ducted fans to it, so 6 electric jet engines basically, and I shot down this stripping at 72 miles per hour. They wanted another land speed record, so they were like, we're going back to Santa Pod, and I'm like, okay, I'm not the hair bear Otis I used to be. I don't want to do nothing like this again. They were like, I'll be all right. I'm like, please don't hurt me. So we went, and it was for a scale electric speed. So you remember scale electric, TCR, all of those things. They're called slot car racetracks and whatnot. They go at about 5 miles per hour. We met a group of guys who were willing to soup up one of these cars to go at about 30 miles per hour, which when you scale everything up, because they're 1/32nd scale, multiplied by 32 times to get it up to the size of a car, means these cars are going in excess of 1,000 miles per hour.
Or £1,000 an hour, as Twitter likes to say. Shout out to the Gadget Show. Whoever tweeted on tonight's Speed Show special, Otis attempts to build a world record Skeletrix car that's capable of scaling speeds of £1,000
per hour.
Miles per hour. I love that. That's great.
That person is no longer with us. Okay.
That's the sort of thing I'd tweet.
Yeah. So the thing was to break a record that had been set by Dallas Campbell, who was a Gadget Show presenter once upon a time, and it was actually a lot more fun, a lot more nostalgic and whatnot than I thought it would be. We had an absolute blast, and your boy now owns 2 land speed records, Guinness World land speed records.
How does it feel? Like, have you got the official certificate
Not yet.
through yet?
Waiting for the official certificate, but like it's going up in my bathroom in the loo, so the visitors can just see how awesome.
That's a good place to put it,
That's why people do it, right?
I might just put a picture of my bathroom on the back of the door, because my bowl faces the door. Of my face just looking disappointed and them saying clean up. Make sure you clean up.
You wash your hands though.
Yeah. What have you washed your hands? Have you cleaned up? Have you left it looking how it was when you came in here? I've had a few house parties, and there's always someone that has to mess up the show.
Sometimes it's not even about house parties, man. It's just visitors. Oh no, let's not get into that. Let's not get into that.
Billy has left the studio because he could tell where this is going right now. So Otis, this is you've been listening to the podcast.
I mean the aircon is on, but a shiver has just gone down my spine, man.
So there's an ongoing theme in this show that we've spoken about, because there are 2 types of people in this world. In fact, we found subsets, but we won't go that deep. There's 2 types of people in this world, and they don't know that each other exist until we have this conversation.
Wow.
And that is, well, I'll ask you the question. When you go to the bathroom, Otis, and you've done a number 2,
oh gosh,
and you finished, you are about to clean up.
Yeah.
You take a few pieces of toilet paper.
Yeah.
I'll let you choose how many that is. That's fine.
Okay.
It's time to wipe your bottom. Do you A, stay seated as you wipe, or do you B, stand as you wipe?
There is only one way, though. There is only one way. You must remain seated, fam.
I'm with you, bro. Thank you very much.
You must remain seated. And I know from listening and the tweeting and that there are people who you've been sitting down, so why are you standing up? Everything sort of closes and becomes less accessible if you stand up.
And if everything closes, there's mess that is going to be spread unnecessarily.
Why are you standing up?
Did you know that standards existed? Standards existed before we had this conversation.
I had absolutely no idea.
They are among us. I mean, it's me and you in the room right now, so we're 100% sitting, right? If Billy's in the room,
oh my God,
1/3 of the room is a stander. I've had situations in here when I have been the minority.
No.
Do you I can't comprehend. Why would you stand?
You must choose to no longer work with this boy. He
does have to wear gloves in the studio at all times.
And extra pants.
Yes.
Pampers. It boggles the mind, bro. It beggars belief. I'm flabbergasted. I can't.
I want to do a national survey.
Don't. Because because you might not like the answer.
I need to know. This could cause riots on the streets.
I worry that the stats will be closer, like a Brexit thing, like a 51-49. And I can't even say hand on heart with any confidence now that we would be in the majority.
I don't know. I thought I was.
There are sneaky people out there, man, not declaring
their standing. I don't want to move on yet. I don't want to move. I mean,
I think we should, man.
I think there must be a research company out there that has worked for the likes of Andrex or Charmin or even Bounty for those who really need a lot to clean up. There must be somebody who has real market research. If not, I am so tempted to go out there and do it.
Don't do it, man.
I don't know how if I found out that there was a really small margin, we're talking like 49-51. I don't know if I'd shake hands anymore.
I think I would stop. What? No, I mean, we must assume that they still wash up afterwards. God,
there's more to wash up. But there's more to wash up. Anyway, okay, go on.
So standers definitely don't use the B-Day then.
Why would exactly.
The world should be sitting down because B-Days exist.
And when you're in China or in Japan,
and or the Middle East,
yes, and they have those. They don't have a standing section for you to go and lay on or lean on a B-Day.
That thing there isn't to wash your feet, you know, or to soak your flip-flops.
So there you have it.
That's disturbing, man.
Ortis is a sitter.
It's disturbing.
Any other big highlights from the gadget show? I mean, there's so much to go from. I mean, I'm not going to ask you for a favourite part because you looked like you had so much fun. And I just want to say, not just with these big things, but with the smaller consumer gifts as well. I feel like you really emphasised on the value of some products with regards to what you got for your money. So you might have a range of products and you'd say, right, this might not perform that well, but considering you're only paying 1/10 of the price for the premium product.
I think it's important because the gadget show exists as a consumer show. It's not an entertainment show. We are meant to be there to help you make a more informed decision. You may disagree with what we've said. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Talk about it, among your peers. But we'd be worthless if we get excited and give positive reviews to absolutely everything. Some stuff we've been really excited about, and when it's come to the studio, it's been wackadocious. The floating turntable, for example, like the idea of playing your vinyl on a turntable that just floats, spins, but floats is amazing. But this thing wobbled all over the place, didn't pick up enough speed, was playing the music too slow. Really excited about that one. It didn't,
It was an Infinity Wars.
And I think every series should have, every episode should have that. It should have that expectation and that justification of expectation, and sometimes like that disappointment that it just hasn't lived up to what you'd hoped. Each episode should have that, should have all of that light and shade, and I feel that we've continued to do that. And also it's been nice watching the growth of our new presenters, Craig especially, who initially came on as the guy that knows nothing about tech and wants to learn more from the team. He still knows nothing about tech, but now he's coming out with us, and we're making stories together. We're not just taking the stories to Craig. He's coming out and he's making the stories as well. He's experiencing them. And it's great. It's great. I've had great shoots with all of them, and I've flown a lot. I've traveled a lot this series as well. From Hong Kong through to the States, across Europe. It's been really good. Fingers crossed, going to China next month, which will be a first. Never been.
Awesome. Can you say what that's for? Yeah.
They haven't even told me yet.
Ooh.
Haven't even told me yet. So flights are being looked at, and I've no doubt they're firming up the stories as we go. We've got 2 months to get those down. So
okay,
yeah,
exciting times. So the new season of the Gadget Show. So is that all you can really tell us at the moment?
Well, it is. I mean, it's we've been told we're coming back.
Okay. That's
We've been told we're coming back. So that's exciting. If you're a fan of the show, get excited about it. We're coming back. Okay. And the format won't have changed too much as far as I know. Everybody's coming back.
I think it was a good change. It was a good change of format. It was a good change of format. What season is this going to be now?
I think it's
7,000,059.
It might be season 28.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's what happens when you run twice a year.
Whew. Yeah, but for the amount of time as well, though.
I know, it's a lot.
Just a moment. So yeah, I look forward to that. But before we go forward anymore, because there's an exciting new project that I don't think I've seen you talk too much about online. Can we pick one gadget that we'd say was a great success and one that was poop?
What's been a great success? You know what? A sort of lukewarm to warm reception, I think, was Google Home.
Yep.
But it's going from strength to strength. I'm not quite convinced with this conversation thing yet, but the fact that I can now say, call dad, and I can have a conversation with him, that whole integrating into my everything, for me, it currently works. It works better as an assistant than Echo does. So I've got both.
Yeah.
And Echo works good for some things, and Home works better for. Google Assistant works better for others. So between the two, I get sort of my smart homeness from them. So that's one that I'd put up there as doing things. Oh, Huawei, their P20 Pro.
Oh, jeez.
It's just that's how you upset. That's how you disrupt.
They're not messing around though, because we were at MWC earlier this year.
Yeah.
And how do I explain to the listener the epic proportions of their? It wasn't even their own show, pretty much, their area.
Yeah. They were just like, we are here. We are here. And when I got there, there was a rep there who I've met before. Actually used to work for HTC once upon a time. And he said, "Bro, it's amazing, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah, it's fire. But where is it?" He says, "Don't even ask." He said, "This is pretty awesome, and this isn't even everything."
Oh my gosh.
He said, "Wait for the P20 Pro." I'm like, hold on. How are you going to leap from P10 to 20? He says, "When you see it, you'll understand." I understand.
Not messing around.
I want one.
Yeah.
I want one, and I am considering breaking the law to get one.
So the just to put this in perspective, the XL2, the camera on that it's one of my favorite cameras.
It's wicked. And remember, they do this with one lens,
and everything's in cam, which gives you a lot of flexibility when you're doing portrait mode and stuff like that. And when you compare that camera to the P20, how do you explain that difference?
I never thought I'd be disappointed in my phone like that.
Yeah.
So one of my brethrens has one, a fellow GlassMate, which is one of the projects I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, we have to talk about that. We have
to. He's picked up the P20, and it basically gone from my Pixel being the main camera.
Oh, that explains. Okay, right.
To his camera.
I was like, they're using an SLR now. Yeah. I generally thought that.
Nah.
Shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. GlassMates, though.
So,
please.
GlassMates is a sort of personal project. It's me and two friends, Nigel and Jimmy. For want of a better description, we go out to events that are being thrown by drinks companies, and we vlog. Basically, that's it. So if you look at our Instagram feed, we're still quite new, few hundred followers. It's GlassMates UK. It's pictures of amazing cocktails that we've tried, great whiskies, great rums, that kind of thing. And we're just trying to we're trying to grow GlassMates into a How to Kill an Hour, basically. Do you know what I mean? We're just we're out there, we're trying it. If you want to learn to drink a little more considered, and know what it is that's passing your lips, we're involved in a festival this summer. We've already had a tasting evening and event, and we plan to do a whole lot more. Come check us out.
I'd like to come down because I know what I know, but I only know about a few things when it comes to alcohol.
Even me, but it's a wonderful learning curve. Wonderful learning curve.
And the pictures, I mean, if it's a Friday and you're finishing work early and you need an inspiration for a cocktail, at least I like that as well. Like you've got like cocktails that you recommend with certain beverages.
Absolutely.
It's not just like, because when you say this, people are going to presume you're a man, you're drinking, it's going to be whiskey. And I know you do, like, your spirits, but you do, I feel like you have opportunities for those, whatever they like to drink. You have something where you can try this, try that sort of thing. Was that an intentional thing as well?
No, that's something that's grown. I mean, originally the idea was just whiskey.
Okay.
To learn more about and explore and uncover and discover and educate about whiskey. But it's sort of expanded more and may expand more yet. We may one day have a special that's dedicated to just milkshakes or something. Anything that comes in a glass and is quaffable, drinkable, liquid.
Maybe an alcoholic one though.
Maybe slip a brandy into it or a rum or something like that.
So what are you sipping on at the moment then?
Currently, what's up there? It's Mezan, which is I think it's Mexican. It's the sort of Mexican local grog. Do you know what I mean? I think it lends itself more to a rum type beverage than anything else. So sipping on that. I'm actually drinking G&Ts a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you just going like, are you going for the dare I say a Gordon's, or are you going a bit more high shelf than that? Where are you going with the G&Ts?
All over. There's a Monkey 47.
Okay.
Brockman's that I try. A Miller's as well. I mean, there's no excuse. Just like whiskey, there's no excuse for drinking the same gin twice.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Even if it's nice.
You might find one even sugar and spicier. Nicer.
And are you switching up the tonics that you put in as well?
You should. You should. Okay. Some gins have more fruity tones, so you pair them with a tonic that either accentuates that or just works with it really, really well. There are companies like Fentimans and Fever Tree who make all manner of different flavored tonics to go with your different gins. Sometimes you might put a slice of cucumber in, you might put some berries in, or it might be a piece of burnt lemon or burnt orange, or just a twist of either rind. Do you know what I mean? There's so much to do, or so much that you can do, and there's a mad amount to learn. So it's quite an exciting project for me.
How do you still stay in shape when you're trying all of these tasty beverages? Because alcohol isn't good for the waistline.
I am not in as good a shape as I used to be.
Are you sucking it in?
Yeah,
okay,
bro.
Cool.
Can't believe you asked me that. But now that you have,
buttons popping off his shirt. I mean, like you're not about quantity, you're about quality, right?
Absolutely. You go out and it's like a sampling exercise. You go out, someone tells you about a particular cocktail, or you get talking to the bartenders. Bartenders are great. A good bartender is great. They will know everything about all the drinks there. Engage in a conversation. Tell them what you're after, what your palate likes, or what your tongue would like to experience by way of an alcoholic beverage, and that bartender should be able to set you right up. So new bars in hotels and all of that kind of thing. We're exploring all of it, and hopefully one day we'll bring the message in video form.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. And can we get a link to your event so we can share that on How to Kill an Hour? Because I think that's a great way to kill some time.
Yeah, so it's you'll find us on Instagram currently, and it's at GlassMates UK.
Okay,
simple as that.
Awesome. And then we can look forward to the live events that you're going to be doing. Because I did see that you did actually do a live stream.
Yeah, we did. So we did a live stream of the tasting, which we did with Milroy's, which is the quintessential whiskey shop in Soho. And not only do they have an amazing range of different whiskies from all over the world, the staff there know what they're talking about, and they do regular tasting events. So whether you're seasoned or you're a little wet behind the ears when it comes to whiskey, that's the spot. You can find out a lot more from there. I got one more thing. I told you I was busy.
Yes.
And I know I'm taking up time.
No.
I worked with a very good friend of mine at Socialized Media to make a documentary on UK trainer culture. It's called SoleSeekers, and they're currently looking for crowdfunding. They've just had an extension of 2 weeks. This documentary is amazing, and it's an absolute must. If you are into footwear or sneakers, trainers, whatever you want to call them, crepes, in any shape or form, you need to seek out this documentary, and the only way you're going to be able to do it is by either donating or getting the message out there that you know what I mean, it needs more funding. I've been blessed enough to see it. I narrated it as well. It's fantastic, and it uncovers all the intricacies and the histories related to our own very unique relationship with trainers. And you can find out more on Instagram at SoleSeekersFilm.
Okay, we'll make sure we put a link to that in show description so you can check that out, or at howtokillanhour.com so you can get straight to that and get involved, especially if you're into trainers. And also in GlassMates, there are a few trainers that pop up in your posts as well.
Yeah, there's one of our members who's expressively keen on that and trying to marry the two. We're still experimenting with image-wise what works, what gains interest. You know, that's when you start really drilling down into the views that you get and the reach and blah blah blah. So
it's all about
you might see a lot more mess before we hone it down, but there will always be a drink in shot.
That's good. That's what I like to see. Consistency. But that's not all though, is it?
How you mean?
You got loads more in the pipipeline.
There's another. I sound like I've been mad busy. Well, I have been, and it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
I've just wrapped on a documentary for Channel 5 all about the Bermuda Triangle, and this is something that I hosted with Rick Edwards, who's another podcaster actually, and we try to get to the bottom of why people have disappeared, planes have fallen out of the sky, ships have been lost. Why do people and objects go missing in the Bermuda Triangle, and why have they done so for centuries? And we also look at whether the lost city of Atlantis exists as well. So it's a 3-part documentary. Each part is an hour, due to air at some point this summer. We're looking at July/August on Channel 5. Keep it How to Kill an Hour. Keep it at Ortis Dealey on Instagram. You will, as soon as we know, you'll find out. But that was another really exciting project that I was involved in earlier this year.
Have you worked out why people still fly over that area of space then? Can we not just avoid that?
Yes, we have worked out why.
Okay, cool. Because I'd be like, you know what? That's one thing, just working out what goes on in there. But my other question is, why do ships still go near there?
You have flown through Bermuda Triangle airspace more times than you know.
Jeez.
And you're still here, man.
Is it the turbulence then? Is that the turbulence that I feel?
Man, watch the show, bro.
Okay. Whoa. Is it fair to say you got some insights that you didn't think you would have there? We learned new things.
There were definitely some new things. And there were a handful of moments that were like, oh shit. And there were there were 1 or 2 experiential moments as well where it's like raw. Do you know what I mean? So watch it.
I'm involved. Definitely involved. Can we get a name of the show yet? Are we allowed to share that?
Currently, the title is The Secrets of the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, man.
I like it. And it's not going to be like Lost, promise.
You will get answers.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show once again, Otis. I appreciate that.
My absolute pleasure, bro. Every time.
I'm going to try get you on before another 100 episodes passes, but you're a busy guy. Do you know what I mean? You're a busy guy. Like Otis said, make sure you follow him on all his social media accounts.
It's just at Otis Dealey across all of them.
SEO is strong. We like that. This has been How to Kill an Hour. You can find me at Marcus Bronzy, BRONZY. Plenty of ways to kill some time out there. Thank you for killing some time with us. Just before we let you go, make sure you head to the website howtokillanhour.com. There you can sign up to our mailing list where we will share all the ways that we can kill time and also let you know when we drop new podcast content, video content, and have competitions, etc., etc., etc. Stay blessed.